What's up everybody, Arrg the Pirate here, and today we're going to play a little Yin in the duo lane, and get ready guys, because I'm absolutely terrible with it. Well, let's get into the deck. Now I have Auto Health Potion, Ruthless, Lifesteal, Piercing Basic, Critical Hits, Healing Towers for my gems. Now for my cards I have Demolitionist, Nitroboost, Sand Speeder, Guard Piercer, Veil Stepper, Pressure Hunter, Heavy Hitter, Woundseeker, Unstoppable Cyborg, Compensator Rig, Shatter Golem, and lastly Vampiric Blade. Yin is definitely one of those ADCs that take just a little bit to get used to, and guys, I am by no means an expert with her. You know, I honestly don't really like melee ADCs. Wukong has his place, and I think Seraph does a pretty mean jungle. But I kind of feel Yin is just kind of in a goofy spot. You know, she used to be just broken. But really, since we're in the new duo lanes, and, you know, I don't really find her as viable in that solo lane as she used to be. I really feel that, you know, the duo lane kind of changed her in, you know, a big way. And I think, really, when you're playing a melee ADC, you really need to be, you know, sync up well with your support. And luckily I am in comms with my support, but we don't play a whole lot together, so there are a few little things that we don't do just because, you know, hey, we're not used to each other's playstyle. Now we do go in on this steal a little bit, and then we're able to get a little bit of poke onto Murdoch. You know, he did take a tower hit, and you saw that damage that was put out, and I actually end up getting a kill because he was going after me, and so the minions were able to wrap that up. You know, that's absolutely huge. That was pretty much a free kill. And, you know, my steal did take a little bit of damage, but that's quite alright. You know, taking out Murdoch this early on as Yin is, you know, that's a good feeling, guys. And with that damage we were able to put onto Steel, you know, our Kallari ended up rotating over and actually took him out as well. So, you know, great plays all around. That I was not ready for that rotation from our Kallari, or, you know, I'd have definitely went down there and tried to help. But me not going down there might have been the only reason he kind of stuck around the way he did. So, hey, that was a great play on our Kallari's part, and, you know, we're starting off pretty strong getting this staggered kills like this. Now, the support, or the ADC, is left alone right now since Steel did just go down, and now's really a good time that we could actually engage on that. But Steel is playing a little passive, and since he was not pushed up there, you know, we're not going to be able to do near as much. And, you know, hey, it's time to back up. You know, we need to get back, just go put on some cards. I do have enough points to actually get my first power spike and put on Nitro Boost, and, you know, hopefully we can get back to lane and just continue our farm. Now, as a melee ADC, it is incredibly important to slow farm. You know, pushing that lane, if you're really synced up with your support, you know, that can be very helpful. But slow farming is just absolutely key with her, because, you know, you really can't compete with the range of the enemy. And, you know, if Steel's able to stun you, Murdoch's just going to be able to absolutely delete you and stay out of your range. So you're not going to be able to do a whole lot against him. And, you know, it's just play it safe, guys. Stay under tower, you know, get some heals. You know, if you even want to run healing towers, you can. And right now would be a good time to have healing towers. And if you see, I'm just getting my last hits as much as I can. I'm not too terribly concerned about the size of the minion wave. You know, I just want to get those last hits. Now, Kallari did head over, and we're going in, you know, with our Gideon heading over with that ultimate, we're going to be able to wrap these kills up, no problem. And sure enough, you know, we take out that Murdoch, you know, easy peasy, guys. And then Steel was no problem at all. Let's go ahead and push this lane now. Let's try to get it under tower, start getting some tower damage, and, you know, we might actually be able to make an impact early on. You know, as Yin, like I said, you know, she is a later stage hero. You know, you definitely have a later game than other ADCs if you're playing in this duo lane. So it's kind of important that, you know, you just stay safe, get the farm when you can, try to shove that lane under tower, and then, you know, when you're in an unsafe situation, get out, and that's exactly what we do. You know, Murdoch showed up, we can't compete against Murdoch, so let's just back up, get our gold buff, go ahead and back to base. You know, I have 6 points, so get another power spike, and hey, we're off to a great start. Now, of course, I throw on my Guard Piercer and that Demolitionist, so I've got a good power spike, and head back to my lane. You know, we're going to clean this up a little bit. We might have been able to engage on that Murdoch, but, you know, without steel being right there, I can't compete against Murdoch right now. You know, he can knock me back, so it's best just to wait. You know, wait for a good opportunity to engage, and without me having my ultimate or that slow, you know, I'm just going to take tons of damage. So it's best just to back off, and we're going to continue to farm. Now, the enemy steel has just abandoned the ADC. You know, we killed him a couple of times, and I guess that's just upsetting to him, and he's kind of just abandoned his ADC. And, you know, this is definitely going to hurt the enemy team. You know, without steel being in this lane, you know, it's definitely going to be much easier for us to push, and our Gideon heads back over, gets that ultimate off. We're able to just absolutely delete Murdoch again. You know, having that steel there might have definitely, you know, changed that. You know, that was a great ult on Gideon's part. You know, he was in Viz, and steel coming over, getting that shield bash off. You know, that Murdoch was going to go down for sure, but steel might have been able to, you know, change something in that fight. It's unfortunate that he did leave, but hey, it's good for us. And from here, we're going to go ahead and rotate to our mid lane, see if we can actually make something happen. Now, we do have a pretty big team presence here, and Rampage, you know, Rampage is low, guys, and Kalari's able to take him out. You know, that was an awesome play, and with Steel diving this tower, taking that damage, we're able to take that gadget out, no problem at all. But instead of actually pushing that T1, you know, now's a great time to go for Raptor. And, you know, we maybe could have forced that lane and even made some progress there, but picking up Raptor is absolutely huge. And so, you know, hey, time to go for Raptor. Unfortunately, Kalari ended up backing, so, you know, there's just 3 of us here, and Steel's taking quite a bit of damage, and he's going to have to back. But me and Gideon will be able to actually take this out. And luckily, Gideon did take aggro. Whoever's the closest to the Prime or the Raptor, they're the ones that usually take aggro. So if you want to switch aggro, just back off and let someone else stand closer, and you can see it switched, no problem there. Now from here, I'm actually going to put on Woundseeker. I've never really picked up this card early on. You know, I like playing with Woundseeker. It's a nice card, but I'm going to try putting it on at the beginning. I think it might be really helpful with Yin. So we'll definitely see. And with that 100% cleave, guys, the wave clear, you know, it's so nice. Now we're just going to shove our lane. You know, this is going to free us up to start rotating. I'm not too concerned about slow farming that lane anymore. I want to start rotating because Murdoch will be able to freeze that lane much better than I can. And you see, we actually had to mid, but with Gadget being there, I'm not gonna risk actually going into tower, especially being this early in the match. You know, her ultimate paired with a bomb, that might be enough to take me out. So it's just not worth it. And especially since I can't knock away her bombs with my, you know, little knock away, whatever it's called. You know, it's best just to not mess with that Gadget. And we're just going to shove our lane. You know, continue to farm, continue to push lanes. And, you know, like I said, guys, I'm not too concerned about setting my lane because I do want my tower to fall. Once my tower falls, then I'll be able to set lanes much more effectively. But until it falls, I can't really set that lane very well. Now, again, I'm going to kind of hang out, wait for that river buff to show up. And then Gideon actually picks up purple buff. And we were heading over to our solo lane to help out. But, you know, hey, it's time to get out. I was able to take down that ward, which, you know, dewarding is big, and, you know, there was a huge enemy presence. So take down that ward, leave. As an ADC, 11 minutes into the match, you're not going to kill anybody solo, guys. So just get out when you can, and luckily this Murdoch jumps down. You know, he was not expecting all of us to be here. Kalari's here, you know, that steel ult was almost unnecessary. Now, we should have definitely gone for Fang right here. but we didn't quite do it. We end up heading back to our lane, get it pushing in the right direction. You know, taking that Murdoch out is absolutely huge. You know, we've been able to shut him down quite a few times, and it's just really the lack of that support being there. You know, Murdoch, he's having to play very unsafe if he wants to make progress on the tower. And, you know, that having Steel wander, or, you know, Steel is going to other lanes, and he's been able to help other lanes, but he's not helping the lane he really needs to be in. And again, guys, that's great for us. So we're just going to shove this lane and start rotating. You know, now's a good time to pick up Fangtooth. Steel heads in, and, you know, hey, there's 3 enemies there. Don't chase that kill. Like, Rampage, Rock, combined with that shield bash, that we would instant die. You know, don't worry about that. We're going to go ahead, head to mid lane. You know, with me, Kalari, and Gideon here, we might be able to just shove this lane. You know, Steel and Gadget are there, so let's go ahead and leave that. We're going to pick up our river buff, and then, you know, hey, let's rotate on this Gideon, or on this Murdoch again. You know, Murdoch is a little bit out of position, and hopefully we'll be able to wrap this kill up as well. Now, he's going down to pick up that river, and, you know, I see Rampage right behind me, so I'm just going to kind of dip out. But, hey, we've got a big collapse. Gideon heads over, gets that amazing ultimate off. We're able to go in onto this Rampage. Now, I want to get Rampage out. It's not always best to focus the tank, but taking Rampage out at those earlier levels, you know, we had concentration on him. Let's take him out. We're able, and guys, we end up getting a team wipe. You know, a 13-minute team wipe. That's absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and shove this mid lane. You know, last time we went for Raptor. Now, you know, with the team wipe, we will definitely be able to take down this tower, and it will be pretty uncontested. So, you know, Murdoch did spawn in, and Gadget's about to, you know, their Rampage is about to. We've got plenty of time to take out this tower before they actually show up. And my team is able to secure Raptor while we're taking out this tower. So, you know, it was a great team effort. You know, we kind of split our forces, and we were able to pick up 2 objectives. You know, that's a great play. Now, I'm going to go ahead and back, and I decided to throw on Shatter Golem. Now, I could have gone Woundseeker with Guard Piercer, and I think that might have been a better option. You know, I don't play Yin near enough, guys, but I really think if I were to be in this same situation, or, you know, if next time I play Yin, I think I will pick up Guard Piercer and Woundseeker. I think that combination at this point would be a little bit stronger than having Shatter Golem. And, you know, hey, we kind of bait that Gadget out there a little bit with our Gideon being invis. He's able to wrap that kill up pretty easy. I'm going to kind of rotate. You know, the mid lane is pushed up unsafe. With that enemy presence there, you know, there's no reason for us to be there, especially with Steel showing up. Let's just kind of back up. You know, I'm going to, again, push this lane, keep that pressure up. And, guys, that's what I mean by keeping pressure up, getting those lanes pushing. Instead of slow setting them to where they're taking towers, things like that, you know, if you can fast push them, you see the enemy team is going to have to focus some energy in mid lane. This will allow you to take other objectives like Fang, or, you know, even go in on another lane, something like that. And sure enough, you know, our Steel is here, so, you know, if he was able to close that distance on Murdoch, we'd have been able to grab that kill too. But Murdoch, you know, he did dip out a little bit, and we're pushing him safe again, so let's go ahead and rotate. Now, this is definitely not that typical match, since that support Steel is not staying in lane as much. We definitely would not push this aggressive. But when your team, or when the enemy team does, you know, kind of these disadvantaging factors, take full advantage of it, guys. Push those lanes, play hyper aggressive, and you can see we're wrapping up kills in the jungle. You know, we're making some really good plays here. And that's just because, you know, that Murdoch is kind of solo. Now we end up engaging onto the Steel. He ends up ulting away, which, you know, that's great. Let's head back to our mid lane and go ahead and wrap up this T2. You know, we force that Steel ult out, so we don't have to deal with that for, you know, a while. But Kalari ends up diving that kill and taking out that Steel. She does die to Murdoch, which, you know, probably wasn't the best trade, but hey, it's no problem. We're definitely doing some work. And now is the time to go for Prime, go for Raptors. You know, we've got things pushed. Let's go ahead and take some of those side objectives. And with our Kalari being down, you know, let's go ahead and take out Fang instead of going for that Prime. Now we do go ahead and wrap up this Fang kill, and, you know, our third Fang, guys, that's absolutely huge. And then, you know, we're going to go ahead and shove our lane. Now Murdoch shows up, and me and Steel have a bit of a miscommunication. You know, his ultimate's almost here, and you see he gets it right there, but he doesn't head in to actually ultimate that Murdoch, and, you know, we're going to end up going down there. You know, he used that ultimate on Rampage, and we definitely should have focused that ADC. You know, it'd have been much better if our front line was in the front instead of me being in the front. So, you know, that was definitely a miscommunication on both of our parts. And we're going to end up being punished pretty bad for that. We end up losing our T1 for that. Which, again, guys, T1, it's not that big of a deal. And this is really going to allow us to start setting that lane and then rotating instead of just shoving it constantly. Now, once we do spawn back in, we're going to head back to our lane, of course, and, you know, kind of get it set in the right direction. We've done a fairly decent job of dealing with the enemy team so far, and, you know, we did set that lane even though, you know, we didn't take out that next ranged minion. We went ahead and headed to mid lane, and you can see, you know, this Steel's here. We're going to be able to take him out, and, you know, that huge play, guys, you know, and that duo lane is set, even though, like I said, it's not set by the ranged minion. You know, that ranged minion is still up, but the lane is set because, you know, our wave is quite a bit bigger than the enemy's wave. Kalari ends up taking out Rampage in the jungle. I don't know how she did that, but that was awesome. And then, hey, it's time to pick up Prime. Unfortunately, you know, our Kalari and Steel stayed in mid. Just, you know, I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. You know, it's not a good time to push right now. You know, it would be a great time to go for Prime. And with them, you know, kind of staying in that mid lane, you know, that's going to kind of separate our forces. Greystone is doing a great job of pushing that solo lane. So, you know, that's great on his part. And then Steel shows up, so we should be able to actually take out Prime at this point. And go ahead and try to use that little whirly thing to negate some of that damage. I think it worked. I didn't take a whole lot, so I think it worked, but I probably should have used that ultimate a little bit sooner. Steel is taking quite a bit of damage, and he's going to have to back, so, you know, that's alright. You know, we managed to get Prime. Greystone did rotate over, so, you know, it turned out solid. Unfortunately, our Gideon ends up going down. You know, they were playing a little too aggressive in that duo lane. You know, it would have been nice for our team to actually collapse on Prime, and, you know, having everybody up and with Prime, you know, that's absolutely huge, but it's just not how it was meant to be, I guess. We're going to head over to the duo lane. Now, we shove the mid lane, and with that enemy presence in the duo lane, I'm sorry, we're going to head to the solo lane, but with that enemy presence in that duo lane, it would be very easy for them to head over to the mid lane, so it's best to push that outside lane, and that way they just have a lot further to travel. And you can see Kalari's keeping vision on most of the team. You know, we see Gadget in the mid, we see 3 people over by Kalari, and then the enemy Kalari is here in this solo lane. But, you know, we lost vision on them over there, so I'm going to go ahead and back. You know, it's probably not best to keep pushing at this point. You know, if we continue to have vision on them, you know, maybe, but since we lost that vision, we don't really know where people are. And, hey, you know, we've got Prime. You know, we're doing very well. There's no sense in risking things that, you know, might potentially be game-changing. Now, we don't really have a whole lot going on at the moment. You know, our Kalari is being very aggressive, as you can see, and, you know, concentrating a lot of that enemy effort. So, and you know, that's absolutely great. That's going to allow us to rotate. And you see, we delete Kalari. Murdoch is running in, you know, he's chasing our Gideon in. We're trying to do what we can to deal with him. But, you know, he ends up actually taking Gideon out, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. I tried to use my ultimate to slow him down, but it just didn't quite work out the way I wanted to. And then Kallari is invis, you know, Kallari hurts right now. So we're kind of waiting, you know, I don't really want to get in an engagement on that, but, you know, I need to stick around in case Kallari does engage. Sure enough, she does. We're going to head over and, you know, I don't even know if we got the assist for that. We might have got a hit in there. And with 3 of their team down, you know, hey, let's go ahead and get a split push going. My Kallari and Greystone are pushing that duo lane. I'm going to go to mid. You know, that way we can at least get one of these inhibs, if not both of them. And sure enough, we're able to get another kill onto that rampage. And, you know, hey, guys, this is huge. Those 4 fangs that we have got, you know, that's a huge power spike, as well as, you know, we're doing work. So, with our gadget, or with the enemy gadget showing up in mid, you know, she's not able to do anything, and we're able to take them out. Now, there's no point in pushing a core right now. You know, the enemy team is all spawning back in except for that rampage. There's no point in pushing a core. You know, we did the job that we wanted to do. Let's go ahead and back. I'm able to put on Vampiric Blade, and, you know, I keep Demolition on because, you know, that's the only thing that I got. I'm going to go ahead. I really like putting my active cards in the 1 slot just because it makes it a little bit easier for me. And then we're just going to continue to push, guys. We've definitely, you know, handled this match so far. Only losing 1 tower, you know, we're definitely playing very strong. Now, from here, I actually pick up Purple Buff, and, you know, I'm looking for a kill, guys. I really want to try out my newfound powers, and so I'm going to go ahead and go in on this gadget. Now, I used my ultimate so she couldn't really run through, and then Steel Shield. I mean, guys, you know, with an ADC teeing off on you, if you get stunned, you're a goner. And sure enough, we just absolutely evaporate her. And, you know, we're just kind of hanging out. Now our Gideon goes up and pokes that Murdoch a little bit. We're able to do a little bit of poke on our own, or of our own, and then we end up taking down this 3rd inhib. Now we go ahead and go in, and with that Gideon ult, you know, we just erase that rampage and that Murdoch, and this is pretty much GG. You know, we're gonna go ahead and just shove this into the core with 3 of their heroes down. You know, it's going to be very hard to contest this, and, you know, we've got 20-something minions in, so GG, you know, this was a really fun match, and hey, we got a win with Yin, guys. It can't be all that bad if we're actually able to win with Yin. Now, I did play a few matches, and it took me a while to get there, but hey, this was definitely a successful match. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this Yin guide. Now, I highly recommend being in comms or having just good communication with your ADC if you want to play her. But if you did enjoy this video, show me some love. Leave me a comment. Think about subscribing. Join our Discord. I'd love to play with y'all. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.